Howdy. So, okay. I actually originally recorded this once, but fucking OBS Studio crashed on me. I'm doing a Q&A. Hi, I'm Delta Hawkins. I am the Don of La Familia de Vaqueros, and I am going to be answering some questions. Some of these are frequently asked, and some of these I threw in mostly because I see people not really know much about it, but I still kind of want to address it anyway. There will be two versions of this video. One of them will be for Familia guests, and the other will be for Familia staff. We'll be starting off with the one for the guests. I'm just going to jump straight into it. The first question. Why are Familia staff so hush-hush about things that go on behind the scenes? It's because the guests need to focus on just enjoying themselves. Because truth be told, this is VR chat. People are supposed to be able to come on here and enjoy themselves. They're supposed to be able to just come into the instance, and every night should feel like an awesome party. The vibe in the room should be immaculate, and everybody should be able to enjoy themselves. However, there's still some things that happen anyway. When you're running security, things happen anyway. There's drama that happens, fights that break out. Sometimes we receive information about users that we'll need to preemptively ban for the safety of the community. And we usually don't like to talk about stuff like that in front of the guests. That's why we keep it away from the guests. We're not being hush-hush because we just have like deep secrets that are like super scandalous and like we're trying to do illegal shit. No, it's because we're trying to make sure you're having a good time. But no, if we ever want to make public statements about something, especially if it concerns the safety of the community, we will. Let's keep this moving on to the next question. I'm not comfortable around a specific person for a valid reason. How can this be addressed? Block them. I'm sorry, but like if they're a guest and you're a guest, just block them. The Familia staff should never ask you to unblock anyone. This is VR chat. You have a block button for a reason. You are in charge of your own safety and peace in this kind of space. We can do as much as we want in order to try to maintain this space, but there's still small degree of responsibility that you yourself as a guest may have to take care of. If you hate the motherfucker, block them. Just be done with it. We will support your decision on it. We will actively try to protect your right to block people if you yourself feel that it is necessary. Protect your peace. Protect your peace. I either want to be or don't want to be in the next YouTube video or TikTok. If you want to be in the next YouTube video or TikTok, just simply stick around. Most of the videos that we end up recording are within Familia instances. So if you want to make an appearance, hang around. Hang around, make some friends, get to know people, and the likelihood of you popping up in one of those videos skyrockets exponentially. We have hangouts, we have game nights, we have just a lot of stuff. By all means, you want to appear in the next video, just hang around. If you don't want to, however, you have the full and complete right to not appear in the next one. Just simply let a staff member know. Let a staff member know that you don't want to be in the next video, and they, working through the chain of command, will pass that message on to me, and I can actually edit the footage so that way you're either blurred out or not shown at all. We can work with you. That can be communicated. It's okay. To which, even if you don't want to be in the next YouTube video, we hope you enjoyed them though. We hope you enjoy our content. Because what better group of people to show off the Familia than the Familia itself? Next question. The verification system is confusing. Why do we use it? Security. There really is no better way to explain it. We use it for security. How exactly it works is that it uses your VRChat verification status for being an 18 plus user to also carry that over to the Discord server, because, well, with recent news getting out, Discord's age verification is not very reliable. If not, it can be kind of problematic. So we're currently working with what we know can be reliable. If you ever have trouble regarding verification, we do have a support ticket system. However, if the support ticket system even then is just not accessible to you whatsoever, shoot a DM over to our server manager. His name is Nab. He's been with us for pretty much the entire run of the Familia, and he can easily be able to help you. We also have a couple other people within the server that can help with verification. 90% of the issues that we end up seeing regarding verification is either that it's just simply taking too long to process, or there's just simply a forgotten step along the way. Usually it's just one of those two things. But regardless, if you still need assistance regarding the verification system, Nab, it's literally his job to be able to help. He'd be happy to. Don't be afraid to shoot a DM. Next question. Why are there 3 staff applications? Different roles. Each one of them are for different roles. If you're applying for the soldiers, then you'll be working with security and protecting instances. You'd be working as a standard moderator. If you're working with the Trovatores, and yes, that's how you pronounce that, Trovatore, you'd be working in entertainment. You'd be a DJ, you'd be a dancer, you'd be a bartender, a tour guide. And if you're working with the ateliers, and yes, that's how you pronounce that, atelier, then you'll be working with construction. So working with world building, working with avatars, helping the Familia build as many assets as possible to just absolutely give the Familia community the absolute most we can. It'll be fun. But these 3 applications are in place so that way that just allows more people to be able to find the right place for them. So that way everybody in some form can contribute if they wish. However, if you don't want to be a part of staff and you still want to contribute, just simply invite your friends. Bring your friends into the instances to let other people know that we exist. That helps us bring our member numbers up higher and higher. By the end of the year, it is very possible that we could break our first 1,000. We're hoping for that. However, at the time of this specific recording, we're currently sitting at 471 members. What are your future goals for the Familia? The answer to this question has changed multiple times. At first, it was because it was a preservation effort for another community. However, that community has not only been preserved, but has grown since and became something new. Then it became a place where VIPs should be able to spend time, have fun, and just enjoy themselves. And then we wanted to go we have wanted to go multiple routes for the longest time. Hell, there was I kid you not, there was even briefly a little, I guess, like fuck around project that we had where it was actually going to be NSFW Productions. And we actually abandoned that idea mostly because we had very little staff for that. NSFW and whatnot will be addressed later, but for now the Familia is completely safe for work. But yeah, in terms of our current goals for the Familia, just simply grow. Just simply grow, see where things go, and just build higher and higher. We're in a very good position and we want to keep growing. Why host 2 instances if there's one already open on event nights? Not everybody's willing to partake in the events. Usually, let's take Murder Monday, for example. Murder Monday is a horror-centric event. We like horror. However, some people don't exactly vibe with horror. They don't like being scared, so we usually have a second instance open, so that way, if they don't want to partake in the event, they can just simply hang out. Same thing for Battlefield Friday. Battlefield Friday is a very high energy, very competitive night, and if anyone doesn't want to play PvP games, the standard hangout off to the side is there for a reason. We have 2 instances to give people options. Next question. Why are so many things in the community done by vote? Here's the thing. When you have a community as large as this, you have a lot of people that want to have their voices heard. They want to have their voices heard, and they want to... Well, everybody has an opinion about something, even I myself. However, there's no perfect system for it. So, by doing things democratically and having votes for events, for major group reformations, things like that, even things among staff, especially among staff, that makes it to where if the majority all is on the same consensus about something, then that allows it to happen. The Familia community literally builds the Familia's direction. So if the Familias go in a certain direction, then it's not entirely just because I myself as the Dawn wanted it, but because it has been voted on and the people wanted it, and that is our way of trying to make sure that the people's voices are heard as much as possible. If there is a more efficient system in the future, we'd love to hear it. But currently, that's why we put a lot of stuff to votes. What is taking so long with making Familia-made worlds and avatars? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a full plate. As a community leader, I have a very, very full plate. The ateliers as an entire branch of staff was actually brought in solely to help mitigate that plate, as well as provide these kinds of things for the community. Before the ateliers were a thing, it was all me. I was the one that built Domus Architeca. I was the one that was spearheading construction on La Torre de Familia. Yes, we had Mr. Twist working on a commission for acting Cap Regime Heavy, and it was just screeching to a halt. Honestly, it was screeching to a halt because you get somebody that's already busy and make them even busier. That shit's just gonna bottleneck. It's gonna bottleneck and it's going to screech to a halt, and that's going to slow things down. But ever since the ateliers came in, this has begun to pick up. That's kind of the reason why the Furry Bahamas has been made its own world and is steadily being worked on every single day. Actually, earlier today, I missed a call regarding working on the Furry Bahamas. So, construction is active. Construction is active, and we are, in fact, working on stuff. Here we are. The last question. Why is the Familia 18 plus restricted, but not NSFW? Security. That's, at the end of the day, that is, like, the big fat word to answer that. It's for security purposes. On top of that, too, regarding age verification and security, we want to keep kiddos away from our guests, because this is supposed to be an environment where adults are adults. We do want there to be strippers and people to feel comfortable in their skin. Like, if you want to walk around in a jockstrap, go right ahead. If you want to flirt, talk about sexual stuff, go right ahead. That is, you're allowed to do that. However, we don't allow full frontal nudity because not everybody wants to be around full frontal nudity. On top of that too, we are a community that does welcome anybody regardless of their race, regardless of their sexuality, their gender identities. So we end up getting a whole mixed bag of different kinds of people. So by making the Familia 18 plus restricted, we actively create an environment where adults can be adults, but at the same time, by not keeping NSFW, we also create an environment that is as comfortable for as many people as possible. However, after posting this Q&A, I will in fact be posting a public poll within our Discord server asking the Familia community what exactly they would want out of an NSFW type event. Because the thing is that we're not against NSFW. We're not against sex or anything like that. We are actually very sex positive. That's kind of why I want to have a poll. So that way the community gets to have something that they want, and we're making sure that we handle it correctly. But with that said, that should cover all the questions that we have for this version of the video. The second version will be the one going to Familia staff. But anywho, thank you for joining me for this Q&A, and I hope to see you at our next instance. Although I'm more than likely not going to be there because I'm going to be super busy anyway. Mwah! Thank you for joining us.